Hello everyone, welcome back to Something of Everything. In this video we will see how to record a macro. Macro is basically a program which can automate the task of doing some automatic works for you, so that you do not have to perform the same formulas each and every time. You just have to click one button. You can find macros in View tab. The last tab is macro. There are three options: view macros, record macro, use relative references. Let us first understand the relative references. If you click on relative references, it will record the macro such that it doesn't matter whether you have written in G6 or J13. It will perform the task based on the offsets of row and column. So always try to record the macro with use relative reference on, so that you can use the macro each and at any cells. The next task is to record the macro. The simplest way to create a macro is recording a macro. Suppose I want to create a macro for calculating the reinforcement area. Suppose I have given 212 dia bars and 316 dia bars, 416 dia bars. So what will be the total area of this that I have to calculate? And in structural engineering we usually calculate the areas of reinforcement. So what we need a button which can calculate this for us easily. If I do not make a macro, what I'll have to do is I'll have to write formula, that is number into pi by 4 into dia square equals to 2 plus number into pi by 4 into dia raised to 2. Total area shall be 1030. Each and every time I will have to write this formula. So to avoid writing this formula every time, I can create a macro. Let us see how to create this macro. I have clicked relative references. It is on. If you can see a blue line around the symbol, which shows that the button is on. Now I am creating a macro. It will record macro. So it is asking me for the macro's name. Let us say AST, that is area of steel. Suppose you are creating some 2-3 macros only, so you can provide a shortcut key so that you just press that key and the macro will work. Where you want to store this macro? Suppose you have multiple sheets and you want to use this macro in each and every sheet, so you will have to save this macro on personal macro workbook. If you want to use this macro in this sheet only, you have to select this workbook and you can write the description. The macro calculates area of reinforcement, so that you can know what the macro does. If you want to use this macro to each and every sheet, you have to save it in personal macro workbook. Remember that. I have saved it already, so I am creating this macro in this workbook only. Press OK. If you can see, it shows this stop button. That means macro has been started. Now all I have to do is I have to write that formula again. That is number into 5 by 4 into dia square. Plus number into 5 by 4 into dia square. Right? It will give me the answer. All I have to do is I have to stop this macro now. The macro has been created. If you want to see if the macro, whether the macro has been created or not, you can see it in view macros. It shows that it is AST. Let us edit it. Upon editing it, it will open the macro module, that is VBA developer tool. VBA editor. This is the macro that has been created. AST, you have written that the description is this, and what it does in active cell, it creates the formula based on offsets, that is RC minus 4. That means row minus 4. It is R in RC because you have selected that use relative references. If you have not selected to use relative references, it would have written it K12. Once it's done, the macro will close. Just close this down, select it, view macros, and in options I'm giving just a Q as shortcut so that I can show you how you can use it multiple times. Suppose you have given 425, 432, and you press Ctrl Q, it will run the macro and give the answer. Make sure you run the macro precisely and knowingly because it cannot be undone. As you can see, there is no undo button once you have pressed the macro button. Thank you for watching this video. Do like, share and subscribe this channel. And press the bell icon so that you can get all the new videos regularly. Thank you.